Hello, my name is Shubian. Welcome to the episode 4 of the Unity Series 1. And I just want to give a little bit of an apology because I've been noticing that for some of the videos, I've been giving a little bit of a delay. But that's mainly because my microphone doesn't actually have like a mechanical arm. And also because I also feel like when I'm talking, I gave a little bit of too many delays. So for the last videos, I'm going to try to stop some of the delay. In terms of editing, I don't really know how to edit, so I apologize. But I think that for some of the videos, it will be like that. So I hope you can cope with it. Right? Based on that, let's get started. So for episode 4, we talk about game components. Let me show an example. For example, here I have my Unity components overview. We have a little definition of what it is. The building blocks of its game objects is pretty much what a component is. For the main components, I want to go over 4. One of them being the transform, the second one being the sprite, render, then the rigid body, and then the box collider. So that's a little bit of an overview. We're going over for this video. So I think that based on that, we should get started. So, all right. So as you can see here, we have a little, what do you call it? Box or a square. So as you might know, we created an empty game object. I'll create it again just to show you. So what I gotta do basically is I will make it pretty empty. And we have a game object. And all we gotta do is just basically add a sprites. Sprite basically. Every square. Reset. Oh, you don't reset that. You have to reset this. So this is like the main component. Just going into that. So the sprite here will count as a component. So is transform because it'll basically say where in the game scene should be. No, basically where in the scene should be. So of course, you can rotate this, you can do anything with them. Now that I've gone over the sprite render, its main purpose is just so that you can see the game object. That's pretty much what it's for. And of course, I want to teach you something. And I need to teach you two other game components. So let's say that, for example, you want, how do I say this? You want that, for example, you want to be able to hit the ground. So how do you do that? You might be asking. Well, there's two new components you can use. Not new, they're really old, but you get the idea. So for example, let's say I make this, right? And I want to mix my floor. If you start the game, you'll realize, listen a little bit, don't worry. I'll show you right now. I'm going to be showing you. You will notice that, for example, nothing happens. Why? Because first of all, for something to move, there needs to be physics. So what should we do then? Add physics, of course. So, of course, you don't want to make your platform to move. You want to be static. So you're not really going to apply any properties yet, of course. You don't want to apply any physics to it. So what do? We apply to this game object. So how can we make this fall? Well, good thing you asked. There's something known as a rigid body. Let me add game objects. All right. I would just be disconnecting my mouse. Disconnecting. I think we're ready. So, based on that, don't worry. I'll have to put this later. All right, I am back. I was struggling with connecting my Bluetooth device. My Bluetooth device was not connecting, so I just had to fix that. All right, so we're gonna be using rigid body. Since this is a 2D game, of course, we gotta use a rigid body 2D. And what this will basically do is that it will apply a gravity scale, which basically allows it to fall down because for something to fall down, there must be a force acting down, basically, and that is force of gravity, of course. What else? All right. So now, as you can see, when I start the game, see, it should fall. Great, it's falling. But for example, you will notice an issue. It's falling right through it. So what can we do? We can add a new component. Guess what that component is called? If you know what it is, it will be a box collider. Box collider 2D, of course, because it is a 2D game. So, oh god. I don't think it's been applied to the right setting. Because, did I mess anything up? Oh, probably because I forgot to. Wait. Oh, I see the problem. I see the problem. I do see the problem. All right. Let me just redo this. I think I noticed a problem. I'm noticing that it's not being selected to a specific game object. Just technical errors. I'll try to cut this out of the video. All right. So I'm gonna call this just a platform. And for our platform, I'm just going to wait. Oh, I just read it wrong. Of course, always start with an empty game object. My platform. Perfect. And what we're gonna be doing is that I just want to move this over here, and then based on that, I want to move this my sprite. First square here. We're just going to scale it. Make sure it's like this. Scale it. Now, as I mentioned, we don't want the thingy of the character to fall through the ground, so we need to add a box collider. Let me do that right now. Now, when we start the game, of course, it will still fall through. You might be asking why. Well, the reason why it still falls through is because for a collision to work, there needs to be two collisions. Collision requires two objects to be hitting each other. So therefore, you need to supply it to this, which will be your player. Your player. And let me just play the box collider. And now, oh god, I should have fixed that. Alright. I'm noticing that little technical error. Don't worry about it. Of course, if you never change the position of a game object, how are we supposed to register it? Mini sprite, and that should be it here. Here we have it. Add a rigid body. 2D, of course. Rigid body, and also add a box collider. 2D. And now, when you start the game, you should notice that they will both hit each other because they both have a collision. Alright, that's weird. Oh, I see the problem. Wait. Something is not right here. The player is here, right? Box collider, rigid body, 2D, and make sure this goes on the top. Everything should be working now. Please work. Alright. There seems to be a problem. Did I forget to do anything? Alright. This thing has a box collider. Oh, of course. Oh, of course, I didn't notice it. Sorry, does have a box collider. Okay. When you make a new, you have to adjust it. I just realized that. And that's it. Let's go. It hits it. So now for a basic overview. A game object is composed of many components. The basic one being the transform, because without a transform, you really can't have a game object, because where on the game scene would it be? On the scene view, basically. Where would it be? And of course, there's also other properties that allow you to modify it. For example, you have the box collider, which allows it to hit another object. So the both objects can hit, and it doesn't go far into the map. Fall into the map. Of course, for the player, of course, you also have another thing which you can apply physics, which, as you can see here, it allows an object to fall from the top and fall down by the force of gravity. Now, that is pretty much all of it. Of course, you also have the sprite right render, which is another component, very important, because if without that, how are you supposed to see the sprite? How can you see the player? And I believe that was a good overview. I hope I didn't pause too much, and I was still able to explain it correctly and everything. So that will be it for episode 4. Have a nice day. I hope you have a nice day. Bye bye. Have a good day.